We move over to the United States now, and US President Donald Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act in Minnesota. The warning comes after days of angry protests in Minneapolis over a surge in immigration agents. Trump said he could deploy the military if state leaders fail to stop what he called violent agitators targeting ICE officers. The threat followed an incident in which an immigration officer shot a Venezuelan man in the leg as he fled a traffic stop. Tensions have been high since an ICE agent fatally shot a US citizen earlier this week. Protests have spread since, with confrontations outside a federal building in Minneapolis. Federal agents used smoke to clear a driveway and pushed protesters back. No serious injuries, however, were reported. Authorities say all options remain under review. Ravinder Sachdev joins us once again to discuss the ongoing situation in the United States. Of course, Donald Trump's immigration crackdown remains a highly contentious issue in the United States following the killing of Renee Nicole Good last week. Of course, Donald Trump now mulling using this Insurrection Act, which would see military troops brought into the city of Minneapolis, a Democrat stronghold, and of course subject to the Black Lives Matter protests back in 2020. How would the imposition of further federal troops, this time the National Guard, fees in a city which is Democrat-led and also subject to these protests across the city?
I mean, this is unknown, unpredictable, new territory into which the United States is going. One big question here is that, the separation or the powers which the federal government has versus what the state government and local authorities have. One, that's a big tussle going on there. And then on top of it is the question of Trump saying that he would invoke the Insurrection Act. The question before is that even does the situation warrant imposition of the Insurrection Act? Okay, so it is definitely becoming a very complicated situation, I do think. And Trump seems to be bent on, imposing law and order. Another thing is that you see what's happening is the ICE agents, the Immigration and Customs agents, enforcement, right? They are typically not trained to handle crowds or such local situations. It's typically the local police or some other local agencies, and even the National Guard would be better at handling, crowds as compared to the ICE agents. So their inherent training is not with the crowd psychology or a mob psychology in mind, whereas the other agencies have more of those, trainings to be able to handle those situations. That is why we are seeing that when ICE agents are getting involved, things are quickly ratcheting up, and we are seeing such incidents happen. And definitely, yes, there is a huge sense of, I think, anger and frustration amongst many people. Sure, some people are definitely illegal immigrants who need to be picked up maybe, but what's happening, there is a target given to the ICE is about, I think, 1,000 people a day they should be able to, arrest towards deportation. Now, in pursuit of those target numbers, the ICE agents are, spreading their net wide and engaging or arresting or pulling up or profiling people whom they're suspicious of, and therefore comes the issue of whole. There's a lot of racial profiling going on, no doubt, without doubt there. And many people who may be, legal citizens or who may be on in fact, even a legal work visa or such, or farm workers, farm visa kind of things, they are being drawn up. And this is definitely creating a very, I think, very tense situation in the United States.
Ravinder Sachdev, thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to speak to you here on the program. We now move on and over to the Indo-Pacific.